Hello folks, this is Mike, PC31, the Vinyl Policeman, and this video is my June pickups. During the month, it's been a really good month again, and during the month, up on the back, I picked up the Madman Across the Water box set, and I've shown that in a previous video, which I'll link below. Then I also, on the second record store day, picked up the Kinks Yellow Vinyl, Ziggy Stardust picture disc, and the half-speed mastering there, and Smile, the new Tom York, Johnny Greenwood Radiohead one, which I remained totally underwhelmed by, but who knows. But anyway, apart from those ones, and I'll link those, I've got several others which I picked up during the month, so I just wanted to show you. I'm not very good at picking up really good low-priced records, and I know a lot of the folks in the VC are absolutely fantastic at it. I'm just not. But I actually picked up a really, really good one during the month. So for just £3, still in shrink wrap, I picked up Mick Jagger's Primitive Cool. The hit singles on there, Let's Work plus Say You Will, Throwaway. I think Let's Work was the only really successful one. They only got to about number 31 in the UK singles charts. But this is Mick Jagger's second album, 1987, sandwiched between She's the Boss and You Had Wandering Spirit was the next one, the third one. I'm told by several people that Wandering Spirit is the best so far of Mick's solo catalogue. I haven't got that one yet, but Jeff Beck is there's a lot of session musicians on this, and Jeff Beck is probably the most notable, playing guitar. Reached number 26 in the UK, 41 in the US. The interesting thing about this one for me is that this came just after the Rolling Stones' Dirty Work, and the Stones didn't tour Dirty Work, and Keith really wanted to, and there was a big falling out, another one between Mick and Keith, and two songs on this album, apparently Mick wrote about Keith, Kowtow and Shoot Off Your Mouth, which are two about Keith, but Mick toured this album in Japan and Australia, but he didn't go to the US and he didn't tour it around the UK, so obviously he wasn't completely confident, but it's a good, solid album. Very, very Stonesy, as you'd imagine, but really enjoying this album. Played it several times, and as I said, I got it for £3 in shrink wrap. Don't think the vinyl has ever been played. Shrink wrap was open, but I've kept that on, but really good, fantastic album. And I'm still on the search for Wandering Spirit. Next one I picked up is a Japanese copy of the Pretenders' fourth album, Get Close, from 1986. And again, this is in really fantastic condition. This has got the singles Don't Get Me Wrong, My Baby and Him to Her. So Don't Get Me Wrong and My Baby both reached number one, both number one singles. But the album reached number 6 in the UK, 25 in the US, 9 in Canada, 12 in Australia, and Iceland obviously really loved it because it reached number 2. But good, really good album, great album. Bob Clearmountain and Jimmy Levine produced 95% of it, so fantastic producers. So Bob Clearmountain, obviously big Springsteen man. Steve Lillywhite actually produced one of the tracks, the Hendrix Room of Full of Mirrors. But yeah, great album. And Martin Chambers, the drummer who had been with Chrissy since the beginning of the Pretenders, he was sacked just after recording, I think, Room Full of Mirrors, and so it's full of session musicians apart from that. But can get funky in parts, but it's a good album. I enjoy it. I'm saying it's Japanese, so you got the Japanese print inside it and everything. Next one I picked up, Brian, Embryonic Robot, kind of got me into Spoon a while ago, and I think this is the third Spoon album I picked up. It's their 9th album, 2017, Hot Thoughts, and it's on this fabulous pink vinyl. I don't think you can see that well, but it's really good. I mean, I love all of Spoon's stuff, it seems, and the singles on this one, Hot Thought, Can I Sit Next to You, and Do I Have to Talk You Into It, which I think's a fabulous track. I absolutely love that one. But good, strong album from Spoon, and I picked this up at a record fair, so it's second hand when I bought it. But again, it's virtually unplayed, and it was still in its shrink as well. So yeah, great album. Really pleased to pick that one up. Really enjoy Spoon. Fantastic band. The fourth one is one which many of you will have. Bob Dylan's Desire. So this was his 17th album from 1976, and #1 in the US, #1 in Australia, 3 in the UK, 3 in Canada. But a few controversial songs on this one. Sweet Joey Gallo, an 11-minute song on this one, and also the one about the boxer Rubin Carter, Hurricane. And there's also a song about his ex-wife Sarah. But it's a pretty good Dylan album. Others I prefer, which I've got, but pleased to pick this one up for quite a good price, and again, really good condition. Obviously CBS. Now the next one, picked up at a record fair, and this is absolutely fantastic. It's a 12-inch single, and it's from Matt Johnson of The. Just going to pull it out. It's a bit of a tribute to Hank Williams. It's called I Saw the Light. So it's a 12-inch single. I'll just get that out for you. So it's 4 Hank Williams tracks, which Matt Johnson of those recorded. So I Saw the Light, I'm Free at Last, Someday You'll Call My Name, There's No Room in My Heart for the Blues. This is absolutely terrific. Really good 10-inch. As I say, bought second hand from a record fair. But they're very good versions, very sympathetic. Still done in a Matt Johnson The way. But if you can get hold of that and you like Hank Williams, if you like The, then that's a real strong recommend. That's a terrific 10-inch. Hadn't seen it before. This is one from War on Drugs, which picked up EP Future Weather, and on Secretly Canadian, the actual label. I was aware of War on Drugs, but didn't know very much about them. EP from 2010, so it's a very early one from them. Really disappointed with this because I was expecting more, and I find the production very poor. At first I thought perhaps there was something wrong with the record, because I was really disappointed with the production. Wagamore Blues was their debut album in 2008, and as I say, this was a follow-up EP from 2010. But underwhelmed by this one. Absolutely superb cover, superb piece of artwork, but no, not keen on this one at the moment. And as I say, the production for me really lets it down. Next one is one which I picked up quite late in the month, and so I haven't played. I've only played, you know, a little bit of this so far, and it's a double album, but it's Ray Davies, and this particular one, so 2017 Americana, and this is kind of all about Ray Davies wrote a book in 2013, and it was basically all about the Kinks tour in America. Ray Davies absolutely loves American culture, American music, very inspired by it. And when you think about the whole thing with the Kinks and Ray Davies, where from 65 through to 69, where the Kinks were banned from the US, and he produced very British singles and very British songs. I mean, Village Green, Arthur, etc. But he had this really deep love of American culture and American music. So he wrote these songs, 15 original songs, and the Jayhawks, US country band, were his backing band for this whole thing. So it's a double album, and what I've heard of it so far, so which isn't a terrific amount, but I think it's really good, and I'm going to really get into this big style. There's a follow-up which I haven't got yet, but I will do. It was from the same session with the Jayhawks, an additional 19 songs he wrote, and it's called Our Country Americana Act 2, so it's a follow-up to this. But Bob Ludwig master, yeah, recorded at Conk, which is the Kink studio in London. But what I've heard so far, really good, so I shall play this long and hard real soon, because as I say, I've got that quite late in the month. Next one is one which I used to own actually many years ago, kind of quite close to when it came out, 1975, and that's 10cc's original soundtrack, their third album. And I don't know where it went. I think it got sold way back in the 90s, but I had to get another copy of this because, again, this popped up. I think this was at Record Fair as well. But this is the one with I'm Not in Love and Life is a Minestrone. I'm Not in Love reached #1, huge single. Life is a Minestrone reached #7. Interesting one about this one. So they were with Jonathan King's label before this for the first 2 albums, and apparently 10cc, they had absolutely no money whatsoever from the first 2 albums. They were on the breadline. They weren't doing very well at all financially. And when they were trying to get a new deal, they wrote I'm Not in Love. That was the lead off. I think that was the first track they wrote for and recorded. And they took it to a few companies, and Mercury basically threw $1 million at them at the time in 1975 and basically let them negotiate their own deal. And they signed them for 5 years and 5 albums just on the strength of I'm Not in Love. And obviously it was huge, absolutely huge. And it's in a Hypnosis album cover as well. Hypnosis design, as we did recently, the thread with Chris Brophy. But yeah, this is the classic Hypnosis one. So really pleased to have that back in the collection. Opens up with a 9-minute operetta, the Parisian one about an English tourist who goes to Paris and gets involved with a prostitute, and a policeman dies and various things. But it's a good operetta. But I'm Not in Love is obviously the absolutely classic one from this one. A new album which I bought during the month, which was lacking for me. I should have got this a long time ago, really. And that is English Settlement by XTC. And this one came out as a rough trade essential edition on clear vinyl. 2 LPs. It's XTC's first double album. It was their 5th album from 1982 on Virgin. And double album, 15 tracks. And on the cover there, you've got the Huffington White horse they used, which is the XTC come from Swindon, and the horse, I think it's about 8 miles or so away from Swindon, and it's carved into a hillside. It's about 363 feet long. It's absolutely an enormous thing. So it's very English history, 3,000 years old. The white is chalk and it's dug into deep trenches, so they use that as the actual album cover. But Senses Working Overtime was the big single off this one. Also Ball and Chain, No Thugs in Our House, but Senses Working Overtime was the big one that reached #10. A lot of people think this is XTC's finest album. I love Black Sea. This still doesn't surpass Black Sea for me, but it's a really good album, very good album. The final one I wanted to show, folks, I don't tend to buy many singles. I've got lots and lots from previous life, from kind of 70s, 80s, and I'm a completist with things like The Jam, The Clash, Elvis Costello, Peter Gabriel, lots of other artists. So I don't buy many singles at all, but there are a few which are grails for me. And one of my favourite bands is the Comme Ça Angels, who I've mentioned before. Sheffield band, big 80s group, post-punk, absolutely fabulous. And their debut single was called Red Planet. And I managed to get hold of this. It originally came out in black vinyl, and then they issued it in red vinyl very early on at the time. So I've got the red vinyl version. And this is absolutely terrific. And before, the first 3 albums by the Comme Ça Angels were all on Polydor, and this was a self-financed, self-released from 1978, I think it was. But it's really interesting because the 4 band members at the time, because they were obviously involved in probably a few unemployment benefits and various things, they use pseudonyms on this particular thing, and they're great. Stephen Fellows, Stephen Even, Andy Peake, the keyboard player, the Jazz Orange, doesn't use their original names at all. Michael Spencer Farquhar for the drummer, Mick Glacier, and Kevin Bacon, Dresden. So they all use these pseudonyms on this particular single. But this is a fantastic single, and I'm really pleased to have this in the collection. Red Planet, the Comsat Angels. Absolutely wonderful. Okay, folks, that's all for this month. July started, so let's see what July brings us. But take care, everybody. Speak again soon.